What part of your process feels the most uncomfortable right now? And what does trusting God look like in that exact space? The hardest part of the process isn't the unknown, it's knowing. Knowing the vision, hearing God clearly, seeing glimpses of glory, and still having to fight through the fog. It's showing up to the battlefield after the promise, but before the breakthrough. You've already seen it, but now you got to protect it until it manifests. And some days it feels heavier than starting blind because carrying revelation requires obedience, even when it's invisible. But that's the sacred middle. That's where trust grows muscle. That's where warriors are made. What part of your process feels uncomfortable right now? And what does trusting God look like in that exact space for you? Reflect on where God is asking you to trust before clarity. The Holy Spirit already showed it to me. Not once, not faintly, but in full color, with detail, with certainty, so I could hold onto the vision even when the room still looked like lack. I'm not there yet, but I see it with precision. The road is narrowing and the noise is clearing. The land he promised is not a fantasy, it's nearing. I see the houses, I see the acres, I see the kind of peace you don't rent, you own. And yet, in the natural, I'm still in the middle. Not begging, but building. Not doubting, but stretching. I know I'm spiritually wealthy, but I want the earth to match what heaven already released. Not because I'm ungrateful, but because I know what he said. I'm not going to pretend this ache isn't real. This tension I feel, it's holy. The sound of divine alignment shaping itself into time. This is the sacred middle, where hope holds the wheel and faith keeps driving even when no one says I'm arriving. Where is your heart while you wait? Because waiting isn't passive, it's pressure. And pressure is proof that something sacred is forming. Romans 8:25 says, "But if we hope for what we do not see, we wait for it with patience." God didn't lie. He showed you the vision not to tease you, but to train you to walk by faith when the room is still empty, to war in prayer when your hands still feel bare, to show up every day like heaven already signed off on it. So, here are some steps on embracing the sacred middle. Step one, acknowledge the ache. Say it plainly. I want more. I feel the stretch. I'm grateful. But I'm not done. The ache isn't ingratitude, it's evidence of growth. It's alignment with what's already on its way. Step two, anchor in the word. Hope isn't passive, it's rooted. Romans 8:24-25 says, real hope waits with trust, not with anxiety. I haven't seen it yet, but I hope like I have it. I wait like I trust. I build like it's mine. Step three, worship while you wait. This is holy ground. Not when the prayer is answered, but when it's in the hallway, when your hands are empty and your praise still sounds like faith. You're not behind, you're not broken, you're in the sacred stretch between the glimpse and the glory. There's a version of me that already has it, the space, the overflow, the visibility, the fruit. And then there's me right now, still showing up in the hallway before the door swings open. I know I'm spiritually rich. Heaven already said yes, but down here, it feels like I'm waiting for the natural to catch up to the supernatural. That wait, it's not lack, it's tension, holy tension, because who hopes for what they already have? Hope lives in the stretch between the word and the world catching up. Releasing the grip on right now doesn't mean letting go of the promise. It means letting go of the panic. It means trusting God's timing as deeply as you trust His voice. The hallway isn't a void, it's the hardest runway. Honesty to face is that I don't have the full revelation yet. No bow on the story, no lightning bolt insight, no, this is what's happening next. But faith doesn't always wait for full understanding. Sometimes it just waits, rooted, ready, and refusing to fold. Romans 8:25 says, "But if we hope for what we do not see, we wait for it with patience." Patience isn't passive, it's pressure handling, and I'll wait in that pressure. And maybe that's the deeper faith. Not the kind that shouts victory, but the kind that stays in silence, that holds the vision with no visible signs, that walks without updates, that worship while still wondering. I don't know the full revelation yet, but I do know this: God doesn't lie. And I'm not leaving what he said, even if I don't fully understand what he's doing. I will remain in the sacred tension of the stretch, building my faith every step of the way. This week, we got honest about the tension and the sacred stretch between what God said and what actually we can see. We named the ache. We stopped pretending the in between wasn't holy. And we held on to the promise even when the proof didn't show up. Not because it was easy, but because it was real. Not because we don't understand, but because we now know that when we shift our mindsets, the tension shifts with us. We're not begging, we're not hiding, we're not shrinking, we're becoming. And next week, it's crowned in the dark. We're done waiting to feel worthy. We're done apologizing for our own endurance. We're showing up like people who already won. Because the crown was never for the perfect, it was for the ones who didn't quit. The ones who stayed when no one clapped, and the ones who trusted the dark and still walked in the light that was coming.